Hello friends, welcome to my channel. It's Mal with Made by MANIANDMAL. In today's tutorial, we're going to be making a geode tumbler, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to use some floral pattern vinyl to really just take this up a notch. So I have made a geode on my channel before, but it was a full glitter one. So this one is a little bit different. Hopefully you enjoy it. I hope it inspires you. It really kind of got me into the spring mood, so I hope it does the same for you. If you like the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any new videos. It's free to subscribe. You'll just see my videos pop up in your YouTube home feed. So I think that's it. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's go! We're starting with a 30-ounce camper mug from Craft Haven, and we're going to be using a sheet of patterned vinyl that I got from Donkey Craft Vinyl. I will have it linked down below in the description box. So what I'm going to do is cut back one little piece of the backing and then adhere that side of vinyl that's without backing to the edge of my cup that has the handle on it. I want my seam to meet right up where that handle is. And I do have a more in-depth tutorial on how I wrap mugs with patterned vinyl, so I will have that linked up above if you would like to check it out. But basically I'm going to wrap the cup with vinyl the way I normally do. You guys have seen me do that a ton of times. And once I get to the handle, I'm going to cut off a little bit more backing because I want that vinyl to be right up against that handle. And then I'm going to take my scissors and cut a little slit in my vinyl right where the handle is. So it's a little hard to see, but I just cut those slits right up against that handle. You can kind of see there. And I'm just going to trim the rest of the backing that I missed. So now I should have 3 little flaps of vinyl. And I'm just going to go one by one and pull them tightly around that handle. We'll trim off the excess later, so don't worry about that. So I did the top and then I did the bottom. And I'm just pulling as tightly as I possibly can without like ripping the vinyl. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that middle one. So now our cup is fully wrapped and we can go in and cut off all of that excess vinyl creeping up onto that handle a little bit. So I'm going to take my craft knife and very carefully just go in and trim off this tiny little sliver of vinyl. You'll see it in just a second. I tried to zoom you in so you could really see what it looks like, but there it is. It's just a tiny little flap of vinyl. If you want to keep that on there, you can. We're going to glitter the handle, so it doesn't really matter if you trim it off. I just like to have a clean handle to work with. So then I'm going to finish up the top how I normally do as well. I'm going to trim off that excess vinyl with my knife at a 90-degree angle, and then go back in with my knife at a 45-degree angle to get off those tiny little slivers of vinyl that are up just a little bit too high. Then I'm going to cut off any excess vinyl from my wrap and my seam. And this pattern is pretty busy. I really like to work with busy floral patterns like this because while you can see the seam, it's not a jarring, like that's the first thing you look at type seam because the pattern's so busy. So I just cut a straight line down and that was my seam. Then I finished off the bottom as well. I pulled that vinyl up over that bottom rim, heat it with my heat gun, and then cut off the excess so we have a really good seal down there. We're gonna glitter the bottom as well as part of our geode design, so your bottom vinyl wrapping does not have to be perfect either. Here I'm taking some painter's tape and just taping in a diagonal pattern. This tape is going to act as the stencil for our first line of glitter, or like the outer layer of our geode. And I'm going to do one at the top and one at the bottom. If you would like to do just one geode pattern, you can do it anywhere on the cup. I'm going to do 2 because why not? So I'm taking a pencil and I'm just roughly sketching out what my what my main shape is going to be basically. So you can do as big or as small of a pattern as you'd like, and I just try to really go very rough and whimsical with this almost. Don't try to make anything too perfect. The more wavy and kind of messed up your lines are, the better your geode is going to look. Once I'm done drawing my lines, I'm going to go in with my craft knife and just cut right along those lines that I drew. And I'm going to remove all of the tape in the middle. So I want to be left with just thin lines of tape with my rough geode pattern in the middle. So as you can see there, and I'll do the exact same thing on the bottom of the cup here. So I'm going to trim right along where my pencil lines are and then remove all of that middle tape. So we're left with just two really thin tape outlines. Once you've got your outlines down, you're ready to go in and start with the glitter geode. So I'm going to take some purple acrylic paint and just drop a little bit of it into a cup with some glitter glue. You can use whatever adhesive you prefer. You guys know I love the glitter glue. I feel like the adhesion is really good. I always get really good coverage with it, so that's what I'm using. And I'm going to use this same glitter glue and paint for all of my colors. I just wanted to have an easy adhesive and easy backing. This vinyl is plenty of a base coat, really. I just tinted my glitter glue to make it a little bit easier to see as I'm painting. So I went in with a very rough shape here. I just kind of pounced my brush in and created a very rough shape following kind of what I drew with the stencil a little bit. And this first glitter color I'm using is BEEVEE from Peachy Olive Glitters. I added that to the top, and now I'm going to do the exact same pattern on the bottom. I'm following the same color combo, the same lines. These are basically going to be identical. They are just a little bit differently sized. Once I had my glitter down, I brushed off any excess with just a regular paint chip brush, and now I'm ready to go right into my next color. So I'm just really going in with a very rough shape here, just pouncing my brush in, making sure that my lines are wavy and curvy and distinct, if that makes sense. I don't want anything to be too straight or too uniform here. So the next color I'm going in with is Paris from PDB. It's a really chunky, dark, like maroon mix. It's beautiful, and I thought it went really well with the purpley, moody vibe of this cup that I'm going for. So I had that on there, and I brushed off all of the excess. And now at this point, I'm ready to remove all of my tape. That was really just there to help us create the initial shape for our geode. Now that we've got our two first colors down, we really don't need that tape anymore. So you can go ahead and remove that now. And I'm going to brush off any excess once again, and then go in with the third color. So I'm following just the shape that I've created here. You can make your lines as thick or as thin as you would like them. If there's a color that you really want to see a lot of in your pattern, make your lines a little bit thicker. But if you want just a little tiny line or just a little bit of detail, make your lines thinner. Obviously, each part of your geode does not have to be the same size, so just have fun with it. The next color I'm going in with is KISMET, also from PDB. It's a fine, like lavender lilac color. And as you can see, I'm not really going in with my like dark colors first or my light colors first or anything. I just wanted to go in order of how I wanted to put them on my cup. So don't worry too much about the order. This next color is GLORIA, also from PDB. And as you can tell by this point, I'm pretty much sticking with a very cool toned jewelry purple type of vibe here. And it was also at this point that I realized I had not been painting the bottom. I hadn't been keeping up with the bottom for my geode shape. So I went in and just kind of freehanded the rest of my shape to make it seamless from the side of the cup all the way down to the bottom. So I did that with GLORIA, and then I went back in and did it with the rest of the glitter colors that I had already put down. So don't worry, you can always go back. I just tried to make sure to cover as much of this bottom as possible so that when I went in to touch it up, I didn't have to put in too much of this like random glitter. You'll see in the end, but I tried to make the bottom bigger than I tried to make it expand on the bottom. I hope that makes sense. So once I was done with that, I'm ready to go back into my main geode, and I'm going in with my next glitter color. And as you can see, I'm really closing in on my space in this top portion. The bottom one is a little bit bigger, so we'll use more of our final color. This color I'm using right now is Coachella. It's one of my absolute favorites from PDB. It's beautiful. It looks great on any base color, and it's just the best. I love it so much. So we are almost to the end of our geode glittering. The next color we're going to take is Gunmetal. This is like a blue tinted gray almost. It went really well with this purple color scheme, I thought. Just different enough to like add a little bit of contrast, but still goes really well with the overall vibe of the cup. Kind of pulls out those gray tones from that floral vinyl. So once I had that on there, you can see at this top portion, I really don't have much space left, but I did want to add a little bit of our next color, which is #blessed. So I just made a tiny little shape right there down at the bottom, just so we could get that color in there and really tie it together. So now for the bottom, I'm going to fill in this entire remaining space that we have and just fill it with #blessed so that we have all of the colors that we're using on both the top and the bottom, so everything stays uniform and the same. #blessed is a really thick cut. It's really soft. It almost has like a shattered feel almost. It's really beautiful and very sparkly and catches a lot of light. So I let that dry and then I spray sealed it with 3 coats of matte clear spray from Rust-Oleum. And now I'm ready to go in and finish off the handle and the bottom of the cup. So for this, I'm going to use RIFLEMAN'S Creed from Peachy Olive Glitters. And I'm taking just some plain glitter glue. I'm not tinting it. And I'm going to start with the bottom of the cup and just kind of paint another geode-like shape on the bottom just to cover up this stainless steel here, trying to make this shape as rough as possible just because it goes up a little bit onto the edge of the cup and I wanted it to just kind of be a continuation of our shape. So then I'm going to go in with the glitter glue on the handle as well and just take RIFLEMAN'S Creed and just glitter the handle like normal. This is a fine cut glitter, so it's going to be really easy to get smooth on our cup. I wouldn't recommend using a chunky cut on a handle like this, like these flat handles. Kind of hard to use chunky glitters with. It's possible, but I prefer to use finer cuts. So now that I've got this on here, I'm making sure I've got it really well covered. I'm going to set this aside and let it dry for at least 2 hours, and then I will spray seal it with 2 more coats of matte clear from Rust-Oleum. And now I'm ready to go in with my first coat of epoxy. I'm taking about 25 to 30 milliliters of epoxy. I'm using a little extra ink epoxy. And at this point, our cup has been sealed 5 times, so those glitters should not be going anywhere. I was able to put this coat of epoxy on pretty easily. I didn't have really any glitter movement, so that was great. After the first coat cured, I added a second coat, and then I went in and did all of my sanding. So at this point, my cup is totally smooth, and I'm ready to go right in with my paint pen detailing for all of these lines. I picked some colors that coordinated with the color scheme of my geode, but of course, you can do any color scheme you want. If you want your lines to completely be on the opposite spectrum of your glitter colors, go for it. That would actually probably look really cool. So just have fun with this. So I took a lilac color from ARTEZA. All of these colors except for the gold are from ARTEZA. And I outlined that gunmetal color. And now I'm taking a gray to outline the #blessed. I ended up going over that with black, which you'll see in a minute. And then the next shape I'm going in with a gold. The gold paint pen is from Hobby Lobby. And then the next color is a actual lilac. The first color was lavender, but after lilac, I went in with silver. So I'm just trying really when I'm selecting these colors, I'm just trying to pick something that's going to pop off of the color that's down. So if I had dark glitter down, I wouldn't choose a dark paint pen, if that makes sense. So then the next color was a rose gold deco art pen. That one I got at PDB. And then finally, I'm going in with a white pen. Those are from Amazon. So I guess I lied. They're not all from ARTEZA, but I will have them all listed and linked down below. So now I'm going to go in and copy the exact same pattern from the top on my bottom shape. So first I'm going in with the black, and then I will continue with all of those colors, just kind of moving my way up the geode. Of course, if you wanted to use different colors, if you have 2 patterns going like I do, and you wanted to use 2 different color schemes for your outlines, by all means, go for it. That would probably look really cool as well. Remember, there are no rules to your color combinations or how you put these together, what your shapes look like. Remember, just have fun. That's the number one rule on this channel, okay? So once I've got my lines on, I'm gonna let them sit and dry overnight, and then I'm going to go in with my 2 final coats of epoxy. So this first coat after the paint was maybe about 15 milliliters. Our cup is pretty smooth at this point, so my final coat ended up being maybe between 10 and 15 milliliters. So once my final coat was all cured, this cup is all finished. Here is the final result. I really, you guys know, love geode cups, and I love that adding pattern vinyl just kind of takes it to the next level. I love using pattern vinyl in my designs, so I'm really happy that this opens up a brand new world of things that I can use it with. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below as well. I upload brand new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So I will see you in the next one. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Okay, love you. Bye.